on YouTube. Let the YouTube clan in. Streaming to multiple locations it's a little tough, guys. We're gonna make it work. Just for you guys, we're gonna make it work. So a few things going on. Made a lot of money yesterday. That was awesome. Let's go ahead and turn off all of the lower time frame stuff for now. We don't really need it. Let's go up to the daily. Take a look here. Now, it is the end of the month. Most important thing about today. Got notes written all over our screen from all these other videos I've done. It is the end of the month. So, end of the month, we should expect for activity to close this monthly candle out. And it's the same as when the week is closing out, or the daily, or the 4 hour, or any candles closing. What makes sense for this candle close right here? Anywhere in here, right? Coming back and smashing the 421 makes sense. It reaching up higher makes sense. I don't think we're necessarily going to come up and go to 24,497 today. That seems a little out of reach. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of smashing or even all-time high today. It's the last day of the month. I want to get to the lowest, highest time frame. That gives me some intuition around what might happen today. So let's go to the 8 hour. All right. So on the 8, we can see this gap that presented itself. We have this nice trend line down here. Okay. And we have this liquidity lower here. Now, because I just had we had the chart on, we also know that there's a POC around here. Right, but you can see here, even on the 8 hour time frame, there's liquidity down here, trend line down here. Right, it makes sense for us to come and attack these for this uptrend kind of pattern that we're in. I don't know why I said pattern like that, guys. I have no idea. But it makes sense for us to come down to there. Here on ES, there's quite a few places. I can see it's actually traversing this node down 6,400. There's this massive bottom wick down here, right? Big imbalance. There is this prior trend here, right, from these highs, right? I don't necessarily want to change this too much since it's already invalidated. Kind of just want to leave this projection here, but we could come down and test any of this wick. In my opinion, is open. There's a little bit of low value here, but if we box out this shelf, okay, there's all this liquidity to come and retest here. So makes sense. Good morning. It doesn't look like I'm showing an active chart. Is active now? Oh, okay, it's good. Just making sure. Can you guys hear my music, by the way? On YouTube, maybe. Muthukumar, what's up? Rajamani, what's up? Zalsira, what's up? SK Procure, what's up? Discord Squad, what's up? Charts are still frozen. Hold on. Let me see. You guys can still hear me, right? It won't let me share my screen. Hold on. How about now? Did that fix it? Can't hear the music. Dude, we gotta fix that, dude. That's a serious issue. Let me know if it's too loud. Hold up. So confused. All right, maybe I'll fix the music later. Huh. I tested this yesterday and it was working. Oh well. Sounds like I'm drying clothes. Well, I am drying clothes. Today's market direction, well, we're still in an uptrend. Okay, we're coming off a little bit. We gapped up. Coming down, liquidity is lower. Okay, so we're going to come seek out this liquidity. Once we grab this liquidity, right, we'll continue higher. Really simple. Literally, it's what we've been doing, guys. It goes up, comes back, grabs liquidity, right? Prior day VAL has been a really good target. Let's turn on our session volume profile and see where that gets us. All right, let's see where prior day VAL is. So we have the naked POC here, 494. Prior day VAL is that 421 level. So I would not be surprised if we come and touch that prior day VAL. We do have the trend line here though, so more confluence around the POC itself. But those prior day VALs have been, just from a pattern perspective, have been a great target to go after for the low of the day. So I did start a platinum short position. Okay, I'm gonna try and hold this for like a couple hundred points. Right, I want to see if this is gonna roll off all the way back down here. If I get down to like in this range here, that'll be sick. So I did start a platinum short position. I'll let you guys, we'll know pretty fast if that's valid or not. This is either gonna flag on the weekly or this thing is just gonna roll all the way down. Let's go to the 1 hour. No music and the charts are frozen. Maybe they're frozen because I'm trying to stream to 2 different areas. Are they still frozen? Are they frozen on Discord? Charts are moving on Discord. YouTube squad, are the charts frozen? Can't actually tell. Hold on, guys, we're gonna work it out. Oh, they are frozen. Is it working? Pretty big bottom wicking off of this shelf here, 64.28. Just frozen on you YouTubers. I think it's working. Now did it freeze for the Discord people? Charts moving on Discord. All right. Schwendleton shorted the open to 601-ish. Nice. Good job. Could have shorted overnight as well if you were watching the 4 hour. 2 a.m. close. That was the go short signal right there. In general, still long bias, guys. Nothing wrong with taking any of these trades, but still long biased. If you're having trouble, right, fixing your trading, right, if you make a wrong trade and you feel like a gut reaction or a, you know, an ego response or something, you gotta just let that go, guys. You gotta just let that go. Big bounce off of ES. Really respecting this level here. I'm gonna get rid of platinum. Don't really need it. Just want to let you guys know I was in that swing short. I'm gonna hold that hopefully for a while and just keep swinging on that one. Last day of the month, gap fill, big move up, was likely going to retrace a bit. That was your strategy. Cool. Let's see what the coaches said. For those of you on YouTube, if you're not in the Discord, come check it out. Let's see what Soul's game plan was. He said, following the highs for signal of topping out after sweeping these highs, like that. If you've done your homework on these D shapes, they behave like slingshots. Not the first time any of you have seen this. Very true. So these D-shaped volume profiles, right, can act as a slingshot. So when we talk about these liquidity grabs, right, we could draw it out. Good way to think about it. Comes down, grabs liquidity, and it'll slingshot out of it. So not a bad way to think about it. The D-shaped VPs in general, right, anytime you have a really strong D-shaped VP, you need to be careful trading away from it though, right? Because they are like little black holes, okay? Girlfriend sending me photos of me and my cat. If we swing strongly though tomorrow, we might just rip into that target Forrest mentioned on his macro. So if there's a signal on the higher, I'm going to close long and flip short for a POC pull. Like it. I think Alan posted. Young Alan in the mix. Price does do the complete move towards yesterday's POC. I'm considering a short reversal into long since there's 3 POCs stacked on top of each other. High chance it won't break past this zone I've drawn out overall. It looks like he drew this zone around 480. Which is, yeah, it's literally just this node here. So different versions of the same thing. There's liquidity down here. Very likely going to get retested. We see ES came down. Bounced off of this node. So it didn't touch the POC, but it did bounce off the POC node, right? Which is why when we talk about these liquidity zones, you do have to think of them as nodes and not just a line in the sand, right? So all of this liquidity, really you can see that there's a shelf here, came down, touched it, bounced off of it. Is it still frozen for you YouTubers, or are we good? We're good. All right, cool. Cool. Yep. Magnet is still higher. So unless we see volume built down here, this thing is going to 1,000,000,000% come all the way back up to 794. And I mostly expect us to pin today, probably inside of this range. I would be very surprised. Oh, lost my screen there. I would be very surprised if we... I guess yesterday's low wouldn't be crazy. I could see it like just falling off just because of the monthly, right? Because of the monthly, I could see us... There's a lot of space for a top wick on this without it being too crazy, to be honest. So on the RTH time frame, it would feel pretty crazy, but I could see us going for yesterday's lows. Do I see us as ripping higher? I think that's less likely. Today, yes, it looks possible. In Q, it doesn't look as possible. And because of that divergence in narratives, not going to do anything crazy today in the morning. The time to do something crazy on days like this is gamma trades, right? End of day gammas, right? That's where you risk it all. There's so much stuff going on. Okay. Tomorrow live available. Yeah, I'm gonna stream tomorrow too. We do a free stream in the Discord as well. So if you're not in the Discord, go ahead and jump in through. We got a few stream coaches now. So we'll have people streaming in the Discord just about every day. I'll be on YouTube 2 or 3 times a week. And that just reminded me, ooh, I need to record this. Need to record the stream. Interesting how he bounced right off. Well, message retracted. Big divergence in price action on this hourly. So anytime I see this, guys, this is me. This is an important note. It makes me less interested. I'm not totally disinterested right now. But there's no point in looking at the lowers if they're this diverged. And I know we're on the 1 hour, and to a lot of people that's like a high time frame, but to me it's a low time frame. So right now we're seeing a lot of divergence on the lowers, which tells me this time frame isn't going to be useful, right? It just means the smart thing to do is bump to a higher time frame. Okay. And I'll just keep bumping to a higher time frame until I have something that isn't as diverged, right? And there's less noise. Right here, the 4 hours looking better. We can still see a really big bottom wick here. 4 hours about to close as well in 2 minutes. Let's see. Do we have data? We don't have any data today. Okay, we had data 8:30. GP, a few other things. What? Forrest gonna get my account today. I hope so. Let me email these dudes again. I'll tidy all that up today. For now, let me give you guys the link for today's giveaway, or this week's giveaway, I should say. Put it in the chat. Go ahead, fill that out. Discord squad. This could upfill for lower with this price action. With the way that NQ is looking, the thing is ES bounced off this node, the POC is still lower. NQ, there's still this magnet lower. So we're getting this immediate touch off of this node here, but this could still come down to this POC, in my opinion. It hasn't, the fact that NQ is so far away from actually testing it leads me to believe that this could still come down to this 489. Right? Or we just have a weird day on a Thursday, and you know, that's fine. That initial short was the first A trade of the day though, for sure, right? That 2 a.m. 4 hour that closed, well, I'm on the 4 hour right here, right? That was your time to go short. From here, a little bit of weird. In terms of RTH trades, guys, on the macro, okay, my overall trade thesis, okay, someone was asking about direction, is uptrend until 24,497. I have not changed my mind on that at all, right? So swinging long into this. If you don't have an account, you can swing in. Go make one, I guess. It's a simple answer there. I really like platinum. I have some plans for this one, right? Platinum, really interestingly, has this really big range. It is my dream. I was looking at this, it's like, man, this is like so easy to trade. You could literally just swing trade this thing up and down, which is literally what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just swing trade it short, and then once we get down to 940, I'll go long again. Literally. Like guys, this is, I'm telling you guys right now, when this comes down to this 930, 940 area, I'm going long. I'm just going to hold long until it gets back up to this, and I'm just going to keep doing that. You know, chart permitting. Big bottom wick there. This looks almost like a flag, right? That 30-minute looks like it needs to get retested. Very small body 30. Probably do another long bottom wick down to like 64.30. Unless this is just like the one grab. ES's target higher is right here, 64.92. Why is the old Discord gone now with only WAP? It's the same Discord. WAP is just how you get access to it. WAP just gives you access, guys. It's not, you're still in it's the same Discord. But WAP is like where you manage your account. So when you sign up for the Discord, it should automatically bring you to the Trade Edge Discord. If not, what's up, Carbs? Needed invite for traditional Discord. I don't know what you mean. So the WAP link, guys, brings you go to WAP, type in Trade Edge Access. The name of the Discord is Trade Edge. And you purchase it through that. If that's confusing, that's good to know because you're probably not the only people. And I'm sure we've missed a lot of people because of that confusion. So I'll take a look at that today. I'm not gonna do it right now. WAP sometimes not working. Send me a screenshot or something or an example of what you mean. Look at this wick on the 30, guys, and ask yourself, how often does a wick like this not get retested? Right? Usually what we see is we'll see another candle. You'll see like back-to-back bottom wicks like this. Way more likely than it just sitting there. So I don't think we're done coming lower yet. And I do think that NQ is going to come for this 23,487, to be honest. You can see a slight break in the shape of the VP here on NQ as well, right? So we have this obvious magnet up here, and we can see it's a little lump down here. Little lumpy lump lower, and it's below the VAL still. ES is at balance right now, right? It's showing some signs of wonkiness. If we never come lower today, all right, let's say that it just grinds it out here and it pins. It's kind of just a wash day, honestly. And that's fine. I mean, the first A trade was, in the 24-hour cycle, longing down here, shorting the 2 a.m. 4-hour. After that, right now, you should kind of just be waiting for us to get to one of these prices. You should be waiting for a good buy down here. A good buy, right? You could just go long, but on Thursday with the weekly closing, I mean, it's not really the time to position on the weekly candle. But yeah, good buy down here or a good short up here. Right now, we're literally in kind of no man's land. Let me get this. Okay, we have liquidity here. And we have trap longs here, right? And we're like in the middle. It's just not the best place to take a high leverage position. You know, you could do some lower quality stuff if that's your thing. It's not my thing though. I forgot to eat my Starbucks sandwich. Hold on, guys. I gotta heat up the sandwich. Hold on, guys. 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 Hold on. Dang, I wish you guys could hear this music because it's pretty good. Let me see if I can fix this for you. Hold on, guys. What the hell? Oh, it's just not gonna work, huh? Alright. Finish breakfast? Nah. I have this problem where I don't eat enough. Because if I don't like work out in the morning, my metabolism literally just turns off. I'll just go all day, and then I'm so busy. I go from here, I go straight to the studio, and then there's just so much going on with running the company that it's just non-stop action. Hola, buenos dias. Am I looking for a trade? No. So I'm in a platinum short, swing short. Okay, I'm platinum, and I'm in a futures long until swing long. 24,497. In terms of RTH trades, not really looking for anything right now. I'm looking for a buy down here, 23,484. 23,484. There was a short that you could have taken overnight. I didn't take that short. Let's be honest. Keep it a stack with you guys. It was a 2 a.m. 4-hour candle, but if you go to the 4-hour, if you look at this candle, that was a nice short signal right there, right? Relatively higher volume than the previous candle, showing lower, and we had the gap, right? Just makes sense. After that, okay, we front ran the liquidity lower on NQ, which makes me think that we're gonna get down there one way or another. Probably a little weird today. So that's my positions today. I'm gonna need to get another monitor with like Discord, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok all on one screen so I can see all of what you guys are saying in one place. Didn't receive a mail from MFF. Can you please check on it? Yeah, I'll check on it. That reminds me, form for the giveaway right there. Check it out. Or check on the Discord squad. Where you guys at? Lots of volume was injected here. 675. Oh, you said that at 10. That was a lot of volume. Yes. Just be aware, red closed bottom wicks, which basically means if it's going to go for full touch of that volume peak from yesterday's PSE, it will very likely grind its way down towards there by pinning here first. Agreed. Big agree. You can see that NQ is holding below the value area low. Okay, first sign that this is not going to just mean revert cleanly. What is stop loss for VPE entry? Technically, all right, if you would have taken the short, let's walk through this really quickly. Press the wrong button. All right, we had a candle with relatively higher volume. Okay, you could look here, came at 2 a.m. higher volume than the 2200 candle. It's at 0200. We had a shooting star, right? Swept the previous candle high. It's all-time highs. Stop is just at the literal highs, right? You put your TP at the gap fill. Want to be safe? Put TP down here. The full trade is really this right here, right? That's really what you would be going for. Let this play out. And you can see you'd be up about, $2,000 and some change. From here, there is no VPE trade right here. Okay, this trade would just be a price action trade, right? Kirthana, you have to go through the WAP, brother. There is the way that you get into the Discord is through WAP. It is through the WAP. Through the WAP. Indeed. WAP does have more than one meaning nowadays. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. Can we do a scalp from a low value node to a high value node? Yeah, absolutely. So these high value nodes are magnets, right? So if I ignore time frame, the market's going to come back at the 795 at some point, right? The problem is right now, if you went long here or even short here, your risk is like basically 1-to-1 in either direction. The real issue though is that we're in no man's land right here, right? This isn't a good area to trade. Yeah, if you want to scalp into nodes, or if you miss a good entry and you're just trading into a node, those are like good C trades, right? Little base hits. Something to keep in mind on this session though, okay? From the current session low to high, we have 233 points. So if you're trying to eke out a good 100-point trade today, you're gonna need good entries. Here the POC is just over 100 points. So with the VIX going lower, the opportunity on every single day is decreasing. VIX is around 15. Okay, we're under that 17 pivot that we were above for a long time. Come down to this 15 level. First touch bounced off of it. Yeah, right now my money is on us grinding lower, and it doesn't really, that's what I think is going to happen. I'm not interested in taking a RTH position until we hit this level. That's how I think about it. Until we hit a good buy, right? Or we come up and sweep this high, right? If NQ comes back to POC, like at lunch, that just means that I'm done until, I'm really done either way until probably 2 o'clock if we don't come down and get this liquidity or get this high. There's just not much to do here that's like worth doing, you know, for me, to be honest. I'm really only interested in positioning for these full day range plays, right? If I can't long the low of the day or short the high of the day, then I just don't care. What is my perspective on ICT, SMC concepts, unicorn extension as a VPE trader? Have you ever tried? I've looked at it. I think, and I say this with grace because I know some traders who are ICT traders. I think ICT itself is just a load of crap, right? It's just bullshit. I think that people have extrapolated out of that quagmire of everything tools that works for them, right? I know a few traders who trade ICT concepts, but really what they're trading in this are particular imbalances, right? Like, you know, fair value gaps and things like that are literally just low value areas, right? But one of the things that I'll notice with, especially when I'm watching ICT traders, which to be clear, I rarely do, so I could really be missing some stuff here. I literally don't consume trading content like at all. So I have very limited interactions, is they will, because they're not looking at volume very often, like they're trading like literally none of the stuff that I have on my chart, so they won't have volume on sometimes, is they'll take these like price action trades that are completely counter to like what is obvious in like a VPE system in terms of like going for liquidity. So 100% people are profitable trading some of those concepts, but I think that they've like, ICT is like this big mysterious ball, and you know, people have taken some of the things out of it and made it work, but they still call it ICT, but you know, it is what it is. ESPOC coming down. Especially with earnings after close, I could see afternoon just chopping. Yeah. I think we're going to come for this liquidity here. Here's my actual prediction today, guys. I think we're going to pin around this price here on NQ. I think this node is where the POC is going to move to. I think we're going to come down, touch 23,524, this node here, 480, right? This is yesterday's node. We'll traverse these prices. We're going to bounce up, and I think we're going to close in this node that we're building. Let's see how good I am as a trader, if I'm right. And if I'm wrong, whatever. I don't care. That's what I think. dark pool. Sorry guys, responding to some see here that imbalance getting filled, especially clear on the 30, guys. 30-minute chart. Very simple question. Ask yourself, how often have you seen a big wick like this not get retested? Right? Very unlikely. Francis took a short at the top side of that node it just built. Wondering if I should hold for the lows or just take the base hit. What was your position? Top of the node it just built. I mean, your risk is just a POC. So if you're not over leveraged, yeah, hold it. You know? You hold trades the next day as most props won't allow. I don't really have that problem. I trade my own account, so but yeah. Like Soul said, if you trade props, you're gonna have to do the prop game. You know, it's open and close a settlement. Trade low enough risk, won't matter. But yeah, I definitely trade. All my positioning assumes I can hold through settlement for the most part, unless I'm like omega leveraged, but that rarely happens. Only happens, I don't know, 20 times a week. No, I'm kidding. Really boring stuff, guys. I wish it was more exciting. We're going to grind down. It's grinding. I'd say this style of market, if it's new to you, just think VIX. If you're ever like, man, what the heck's going on? VIX, 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 VIX. Okay. The VIX, the level of volatility is literally at 15. Okay. If you remember, we were trading when the VIX was at 20. In the 30s, okay? For a second there, the VIX was in the 40s, 50s. We're at 15. We could describe the market as not volatile right now, okay? In terms of the measure of volatility. We can go to the daily and get a better image of this, okay? And all of the levels that the VIX could be at, it is close to the bottom. So do not expect, if you're showing up and you're sitting at your desk in the morning and you're like, all right, something crazy is going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen. Right? Anything crazy is going to be towards an imbalance as well. It's going to be towards a liquidity target. Basically like what we got yesterday's close. Right? But the grindy, slow price action should be expected. So trade the higher time frames, trade like the 4 hour, trade the 8 hour. If you're trading the 4 and the 8 right now, you'll be, I mean, I hate to say it, but like you'll just be okay. Like you'll be fine. You're gonna really struggle. Those of you, especially if you're a shorter time frame trader in a low VIX environment, you're gonna freak out. You're gonna be freaking out every day because it's just too slow. You're trading the 5 minute. and nothing's happening. You're trading the 15-minute, and you're gonna be like, why? My trade usually works out in 3 candles, but it's taking like 34. So I would just go to a higher time frame, you know. And I mean, there's so many reasons to go to a higher time frame, but let's go to a higher time frame. We'll set on the 1 hour just so we can, you know, have something interesting to look at. But yeah, PLC lower, we'll get there, I'm sure. Settlement occasionally can screw you on props if you're using a ton of lever and a gas, but besides that, it's fine. 100%. Yeah, if you always trade, most problems you have as a trader, guys, are going to be because you're trading too big. Imagine your worst day in trading history. Maybe you took 30 trades and they were all losses. You know, if you were trading as small as possible, that day would be bearable instead of, you know, whatever it was. I think ES is probably just going to pull this liquidity lower, right? Maybe pin around the VAL as NQ tries to grind down here to this POC down to 2352. So NQ is going to like staircase lower like this. And I think ES is going to just do one of these. It's my anticipation, right? And then in the afternoon, it's going to grind and pin right here. That's what I think. A good way to think about it is if you trade smaller, you get to your dollar goal a bit slower, but probably more sustainably and stress-free. Absolutely. Your end number is probably going to be the same either way, and if you over-leverage a lot, you'll blow up eventually. Yeah, I would say that trading smaller is the only way you're going to get to your end number. You know, it's all psychology in trading. If I told, for everyone listening right now, right? Let's say you haven't made $100,000 from trading yet, right? If I told you, all right, you're going to make $100,000 this year in trading, but you don't know when. But I could guarantee, due to the power of like some magical ability I have, that you're going to do it, right? You would be a lot more patient because it's guaranteed, right? It's guaranteed you're going to make the money. You don't know if you're going to make it on January 1st. You don't know if you're going to make it on December 31st. What a lot of people try to do is they try to make all that money that they need to make right now. And because of that pressure, and because of the fact that money hates desperation, you know, it runs away from you every chance it can get. So you just got to be patient. And I know this has happened to a lot of you where you've burned yourself out, you know, and then it's right on that day where you give up the very next session, everything would have worked in your system. All the plans you had would have played out if you could have just did nothing for 24 hours. And I know, because I've been there. I too have been an idiot. Wow, this is exciting. Gold pushing lower. Platinum. Don't remind me? Yeah. So much of trading, dude, unfortunately, is just not being an idiot. It's got to not be dumb. It's self-accountability, which most people don't have. Self-control. You know, it's accountability and self-control without someone else punishing you. You know? So check out HG. Copper. Whoa. Zoom out a little bit. Show the daily. I looked at this at some point, apparently. I don't remember ever looking at this ticker. I've got lines on my chart. What the heck? Let's see what I had here. Oh, there's this obvious low here. Hold on. Might have a copper swing coming up. What happened? Oh, these drop-offs in copper are dramatic. Hold on, guys. I'd have to trade this puppy. So what I'm most interested in are relative high and lows. What do I mean by that? Okay. Highs, lows. Forget all VP, forget everything, okay? And you've heard me say this a lot recently. Like, what are the lows and what are the highs? We are, right now, basically at the lows. So from a risk perspective, and this is how I think about risk, across all the history of prices on this thing, do I have a relatively good buy? I'd say so, right? This is kind of a trend line down here. So this isn't a bad area to try along, right? Even if it craters to this, low down here, right? You've got more upside than downside. It's a very elementary way to think of risk, but it's literally how I think about it. It's just like, is this a low price? In this range, yeah, it is. So I might, especially with this shelf being here, right? There's the edge of an auction right here. Just dipped in here. Go watch this on the lowers and see what they start to do with that price there. NQ come lower. Actually, let me put this on my... Your winning percentage for 10 trades? It just depends. But yeah, as Sol said, the more you trade, I would even add to that. I'd say yes, and the more different types of trades you take, the even more likely your trades are going to revert to 50%. What do I mean by that? So if I only took trades that were high volume signal candles, okay, my win rate's going to be like 80%, right? Because I am a human being, and even I don't always stick to just my system, keep it a buck. I do some price actiony things sometimes, where I take trades that are just with the volume profile or something. Your win rate's going to revert to 50%. The more trades you take. But you can get win rates, I'll tell you this from experience, around 80 or 90%. If you're highly discretionary. But you should be taking less trades. But no matter what system you use, like some of your trades will fail for sure. Trump announced 50% tariff on copper, and now he just says on pipes and wires. I need to track that announcement. But yeah, I might take one of those. Let's see if platinum cracks this. I already have an alert there. My usual R to R, no idea. I don't think in terms of RR. I don't think it's useful. I literally was talking to a guy yesterday in the studio about R. So this is why it doesn't make sense. So RR is, risk to reward. Okay. What do you mean when you say risk, though? Okay. A lot of people say, oh, well, because I, went short and I have a stop up here, I'm only risking that to make this, which is like kind of true, but not really. Because what matters is the edge in this trade, right? So without the proper edge in a trade, it doesn't matter what your RR is in your bracket. A lot of people don't understand what the cards are in their hand, right? The cards in your hand are your edge, basically, right? It's not the bracket on the charts. And what I mean by that is I could have theoretically a trader, every bracket could be a, risk 1 to profit 5. Why? Right? And your win rate is, 0%. Right? Due to the power of math, if, I'm risking 1 to make 5, obviously every win is going to make up for, 5 losses. You'll break even, right? So you don't need a crazy high win rate if that's your system. But what's more likely to happen, though, is that you're not going to hit the win rate enough to cover this RR, because your risk is extremely tight in the first place. So what's more important is, profit factor. So a better question is, anytime I put risk on the charts, how likely am I to make money? So this is more of an outcome-based approach to risk versus just looking at like where your stop is on your bracket. They're tied together, but I think that taking the RR approach to trading is flawed. And I say that as somebody who used to trade with very, very specific brackets in every single trade that I took. I did that for years, actually. So it's not like I just have some woo-woo around this. I did that for a long time. And what I noticed is that I would get stopped out a lot of trades that would work out in my favor. And that's because I was also trading on the lowers. So as my intuition got better about what was happening, I became much more concerned with my trades working out than not being in drawdown. So much so to the point now that I basically, when I trade, this is kind of crazy. I don't mean this entirely, but I expect to be in drawdown, okay? And what I mean by that is that I'm totally okay with it. Red numbers are okay, right? So seeing red is okay so long as the chart is working in my favor. I actually don't care. I'm totally fine. I even expect it. If I expect to see red as a trade is working out, you don't freak out. But that's kind of contrary to what a lot of people do, is as soon as they see red, they start to have these warning signs, psychologically, of oh, something bad is happening. I got to fix this. When I see red, I'm just oh, this is part of the plan. Okay, now, that's philosophically. Tactically, obviously, you want to have good entries. That's where the system comes into play. So we'll go back to the example from earlier, right? So tactically, we mix philosophy with tactics. So tactically, let's say that we go to the replay. If it'll load, okay? And we took this short here, all right? And let's say we want to go forward every 15 minutes. So tactically, I still want to have a good entry. Is it perfect? No. I still want to have a good entry, right? So I'm waiting for signal candles. So these two things together allow you to eat drawdown. I mean, you have to be able to eat $1,200 here if you're trading 1NQ. But you can see here that after being a little bit red, right, it goes green. So that's how I think about an approach trading nowadays. But your R, the other thing too is like it's most of the trades we take, to be honest, like in trade our system, your R is always busted. You know, you'll be risking 20 to make like, 200. It's just a crazy amount of reward to the actual risk because we're hunting for the edges of the day. That's probably, I went the long way to explain it, but like mostly it's just like it's a crazy number when you actually trade the system. And we're grinding lower. Look at that. Crazy. Who could have known? Who could have known? Not the guy on screen in front of you. Abhishek, what's up, brother? Welcome back. How long have I been trading? About 8 or 9 years. 2 years in. This shit is so rough. It's not easy, I'll tell you that. So you're definitely on the right track. Trade of 8 Ninja both shifted POC real time at 10, by the way. I'll have to look at that. No, it doesn't work on props, this risk strategy. It definitely doesn't work on props, yeah. You have to trade super small to trade how we trade. Which is why it's full circle. Like, I think props are a great way if you have edge, and especially on the lowers. In a high VIX environment, props are like great. In a low VIX environment, it's probably even harder to trade props for that reason, though. Right? Because you should trade the higher time frames, and a lot of props assume that you're a day trader, trading a lot on any particular day. So if you have a thesis that, for example, you might have a trade thesis that says we're going to gap up, and you might want to trade that, right? Like you might actually want to trade the idea that we're going to gap up. Okay, that's a valid trade idea. That could be an actual thought in your brain. You literally can't do that with props. Most props, right? You literally, like, that trade is not allowed. So props are great. They're tools. They're a tool, but yeah, you can't do everything with them. Looks like repeat of 28 and the 28th on the 2 hour, just a red waterfall. We're going towards liquidity, more so is what I would say. So liquidity lower, trend line lower here, right? We're going towards the range lows, right? The range lows are down here. We got to get down there. We popped up, got a range back lower. Got liquidity and the range lows down here. Cool. Yeah, it's coming down. Soul is one of our trade coaches, by the way. Definitely listen to what he has to say. Need a PDF for full VPE model to our community. We have in the Discord tons of videos. Literally everything I know about trading is on my channel for free. We have a list of videos in the Discord talking about the two setups that we take, right? Prior POC retests, as well as mean reversion trades. How to read signal candles, how to read the volume profile. Everything is in there. And then we have a course as well that you can check out. Oh yeah, I just put out a video on how to read signal candles. It's a little refresher. Very simple. We're still getting continuation from this 4-hour signal candle, by the way, this 2 a.m. All right, right there. Shooting star, relatively higher volume, and we have liquidity in the direction of the trade. Easy peasy. ES actually gave us a nice little signal too, right? This 30-minute bottom wick here was a nice little imbalance telling us that, yeah, this thing's going to come back down. Little helper candle there. Also, what's interesting about that 4-hour signal candle is that it didn't play out until open, so you technically could have entered up until market open. Yep. Could also have some beginner intro to VPE workshops coming up. Very sick. Grinding. I'm gonna get off here at 11, guys. Gotta get some stuff done. Any other thoughts or questions? I've got about 10 minutes left. We're coming down to this POC trend line. Very, very simple day. Slow, boring. I literally could have just got on and said, hey, we're gonna grind down, jumped off. It would be the same thing. Oh. That's it. Ooh. It's a nice thing about having a mic on an arm. You can just keep leaning back. Thoughts on gold? Let's take a look at the old GC. The old GK. Alright, I'll stop. I mean, gold is... all these metals are just rangy. I mean, this is where I would try along. It's you either try along here, you can wait for the sweep of this low here, right? Best bet would be to see if it sweeps this 3305. So it's looking for a signal, either a bottom wick, high volume bottom wick on some time frame. I'm on the daily right now, so maybe there's a signal candle in here. We go to the 4-hour. We've got lower lows, lower highs coming down, so I think this is going to come lower. So see if it sweeps this price here. If not, then yeah, it's just going to range, grind back up. But yeah, I look for that sweep there. That would be my first long. Otherwise, it's going to come for this low down here. But you could have a really tight risk. As soon as it sweeps this, look for a long. Put your stop at the bottom of that candle and pretty tight risk. And I would just hold that until the top of this range. Otherwise, it's coming for the obvious next pivot, and I would just run the same play. Look at the weekly here. That is a pretty big top wick on the weekly. But that wick, prone to get retested. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the target, get the sweep here, you go long, could go for, 34.70. Price that's already there. All right. The plan is working. coming down. It's yellow. Gold is yellow. Can I please confirm your email? Did you send me an email? Let me ask you about something else. For the accounts, I'm going to follow up with them today and make sure that everything gets handled. Sorry for the slowness. Very busy. Very busy. Whew. Oh, this is a good track right here. Yeah, I'm going to follow up on that SMK. I got you, brother. Get you guys right. Look for a gamma today, though, guys. Okay? Very similar to yesterday. I mean, yesterday, I wish I would have caught the gamma yesterday. Oh, my goodness. I would have been so freaking hot. But I didn't. Last day of the month. UK futures trader. Good afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock over there. Welcome to the party. No, I need to confirm my mail before you give in. It's whichever one you put in the form. Let me look here. Let's see what we got here. Your email is the allfresh33.23 at proton.me. It's the one you signed up with. Coming down towards this liquidity. 488. This POC still the target, folks. ES coming down. It's almost there. It's reaching out. It's getting there. Oh. This is real trading right here, guys. You just call it out and then you just look at it. There's nothing else to do. You just gotta look at it. Getting off in 4 minutes. These are gonna be the 4 strongest minutes on the internet right here. You ready? Strong minutes. I'm getting back in the gym. Soul, coming for your deadlifts, brother. Next time we see each other, we can have a deadlift off. I'm kidding, I'm not doing that. I actually just got stem cells in my ankles, both my ankles. So I'll let you all know how that goes. Forrest, will you do a live stream any eval from scratch to payout? No. We might mix it up, but for me, because I trade my own accounts, there's just too much to do, like special, like trade accounts in special ways. I've tried it before, and all it does is it just messes up my trading because I have too much stuff going on. If I was making, like, I'll be honest, guys, if I made money from streaming, maybe I would perform, and dance around more. But I still, unfortunately, make money from trading, so I don't want to mess that up too much. Soul is lightweight. Who we kidding? Soul's pretty strong. Coming lower. I'm going to look for a long at this node, by the way, guys. If not in the next 2 minutes, I'm not going to see it, but that is my plan. Prior POC retest will be my trade. Right now, I'll be on Monday and Thursday, for sure. And then I'm going to try and do Wednesday as well. So probably Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be on YouTube. But once I have my new office built, I'll be streaming from there, mostly at my new studio. I need to go check on that today. Spending so much money, guys, on this new studio. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. It is probably the craziest thing I've ever done. I have a brick and mortar business in Miami, guys. Think about how crazy. I can't even appreciate how crazy that is because of how much work it is. I said to my business partner the other day, I was like, bro, we have a brick and mortar business in Wynwood in Miami. What the hell's wrong with us? Who does that? Nobody does what we're doing. Crazy. You're going to be able to just pull up to my freaking place of business. Please do pull up, by the way, actually. I'd love to help you guys make some content. I've had the opportunity to work with literally everybody. Yes, touching the naked POC. It's very close. I want to see NQ come down and get into this node a little bit, though. It's just reacting a little bit here. Yeah, we're in it now. We're pretty close to it. I do think that we could come down into and touch this trend line. Wow, can't talk. But your R here is about 200 points higher. Risking a few lower, so not a bad place to start a position if you wanted to. Nonetheless, guys, get out of this. Got some shorts floating around here. Whoa. Hit your TP a minute ago. Thanks for the stream. No problem. Hopefully some of y'all got in on that action. The grind down, grinded down. I do think NQ can still come down a little bit lower here. I'm eyeballing longs right here. I want to see if we traverse this node on ES. Remember, those naked VALs are good places. So I actually think that this could go all the way, traverse this node at a minimum, if it doesn't bounce right off this statistical price, and go to the prior day VAL, right? Always on the table. Nonetheless, I actually need to go. My name's Forrest. I invest stuff. You should too. Trade smart. Every single one of you has what it takes to get what you want out of life. You might just have to work a little bit harder and a little bit smarter. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to the people around you. Put some good energy out, and I'm sure it'll come back. See you in the next